Leading up to the Louisville game Friday, Florida State football coach Mike Norvell stressed to his team how they respond is the most important thing. FSU, of course, responded to a potentially program-changing victory over LSU 2 weeks ago. But the Seminoles responded in another big way to two major injuries in a 35-31 victory over the Cardinals at Cardinal Stadium. Backup quarterback Tate Rodemaker led FSU 3-0, 1-0 ACC to the victory in the program's best start since 2015, coming on in relief of starting quarterback Jordan Travis. Copyright Jamie Rhodes, Rhodes-USA TODAY Sports September 16, 2022, Louisville, Kentucky, USA. Louisville Cardinals defensive lineman YaYa Diaby, 6, sacks Florida State Seminoles quarterback Jordan Travis, 13, during the second quarter at Cardinal Stadium. Mandatory credit: Jamie Rhodes-USA TODAY Sports running backs Treshaun Ward and Trey Benson, as well as wide receiver Johnny Wilson, also played key roles in the come-from-behind victory over Louisville, 1-2, 0-2. Meet the backup. It's Tate's game. Rodemaker steps in for injured Jordan Travis versus Cardinals. Travis hurt. FSU quarterback Jordan Travis limps off the field after sack versus Louisville, out for game. Boston College kickoff. Florida State football, kickoff time and TV for September 24th against Boston College announced he turned to receiver Wilson early and often to lead the team to a comeback victory. Travis, along with defensive end Jared Verse, lower leg, were both ruled out at halftime. The Seminoles were able to overcome injuries to their two best players. Shyheim Brown made a key play for the second straight game, breaking up a key pass on second down on the Cardinals' final drive. Here are 5 takeaways from Florida State's second straight stunning victory. EJ Manuel Podcast, former Florida State QB EJ Manuel on Louisville, Jordan Travis, and more, podcast against LSU. It was Ontaria Wilson who stepped up for the Seminoles. This week it was Arizona State transfer Johnny Wilson who stepped up and took over the game in the second half. Johnny Wilson finished with 7 catches for 149 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had 4 catches for 111 yards coming into the season and finished with 12 catches for 154 yards and a touchdown last season for the Wildcats. A 69-yard catch set up a 10-yard touchdown for Johnny Wilson from Rodemaker. The deep pass was the longest of the season to this point for the Seminoles. He added a 2-yard touchdown which proved to be the game winner. Tate Rodemaker strong in relief. Rodemaker finished 6 of 10 for 109 yards, 2 touchdowns and the interception. Travis was 13 of 17 for 157 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. He started the game 11 of 11. Rodemaker completed 3 of his final 4 passes after starting 3-4-6. Running game continues hot. Start the run game aided Rodemaker in the victory. The Seminoles ran 43 times for 245 yards, averaging 5.7 yards per carry. Louisville had allowed 208 yards in each of its first 2 games. Treshaun Ward led the backfield with 126 yards on 10 totes, finishing with 12.6 yards per carry. Trey Benson added a 37-yard run to set up the go-ahead touchdown in the fourth quarter. Benson finished with 70 yards on 10 carries. Lawrance Toafili ran 6 times for 20 yards and scored a touchdown. The second quarter was brutal for the Seminoles. FSU was shut out on the scoreboard and turned the ball over twice, but more importantly, injuries to Travis and Verse stymied them. Travis started 11 for 11 passing, including 2 touchdowns, but he left the game in the first half with a lower leg injury. Defensive end Jared Verse left the game a couple of drives earlier on defense. He went straight to the tent and was in street clothes in the second half. The Seminoles entered the game without Fabian Lovett, another key defender. As a result, the defense got off to a slow start, with the Cardinals scoring on 3 of their first 5 drives. In the fourth quarter, left tackle Robert Scott left the game with a lower leg injury as the hits kept piling on for FSU. Growth for Travis, explaining Florida State quarterback Jordan Travis preparation, improvement as a passer, missed tackles early, but defense steps up late. Cunningham doesn't need second or third chances. The sixth-year senior racked up 127 yards on 16 carries and scored 2 touchdowns on the ground. He added 243 yards and a touchdown on 63% passing. FSU talked all week about getting him to the ground on the first contact, but struggled to do so during the first half. Cunningham broke multiple tackles on his runs of 8 yards and 18 for touchdowns. The Cardinals finished with 252 yards rushing. The Seminoles felt the absence of Fabian Lovett, who missed the game and the subsequent injury to Verse. Cunningham's one mistake came on the final drive when he threw 1 interception to Kevin Knowles, which sealed the victory for the Seminoles. Earlier on the drive, last game's blocked kick hero Brown broke up a pass that would have gotten the Cardinals significant yardage. The Seminoles limited Louisville to 10 points in the second half. The Seminoles returned to Doak Stadium for another ACC game against Boston College, 0-2, 0-1, at 8 p.m. Saturday. This article originally appeared on Tallahassee Democrat, Florida State Football. Tate Rodemaker, Johnny Wilson leads Seminoles to victory over Louisville, 5 takeaways.